remembering, claiming my true nature. I am love. Hold that. Know that. I am love. Love flows from me. I am the voice of love. I make the choice to be the love. I am peace. I am the voice of peace. My true nature is love. I am whole and complete in love, in one presence. My true nature is love. Just hold that in your heart. Know it. Live in its presence. I am love expressing. And so it is. And so we let it be. And it's time now to step back into life as the love that we are. As you're comfortable, you can open eyes and move around and get the energies flowing and come back and join me. So I have set out to talk about the evidence of love, and the reason is, I think we have some slides. We're moving into a new month, the month of love, and we have some affirmations. So how about affirm this with me? My thoughts, words, and actions reveal my loving nature. I am evidence of love. I think that might have been it. You got it? This is the love month, okay? Well, the world is nothing but a school of love. Our relationships with our husband or our wife, with our children, our parents, with our friends and relatives are the university in which we are meant to learn that love and what love and devotion truly are. This comes from Swami Mutkananda, okay? You know, these Sunday talks, and the reason I enjoy them so much is that they challenge me to clarify my own understanding and beliefs. And I just have to throw in here, I had a business partner who said, I know more than I understand. It is so, so true. So as I embarked on this study of love, I thought it would be interesting to see what the 20th century brought to our movement, because the unity movement started in the 1890s. So what did the 20th century bring? And then kind of bring it up to the 21st century. So we go to Charles Fillmore. Charles Fillmore was a co-founder of our movement. He lived from 1854 to 1948. And I'm just going to share a little, I hope a little bit. I'm trying to cull out talking too much here. But I'm just going to share a little bit of what he had to say. This comes from Christian Healing, one of his early books, and he's got lots of them. Okay. This one was put out in 1909. So I don't know if it was his first, but it's certainly one of the earliest. This is what he had to say about love. Love in divine mind is the idea of universal unity. Okay, Reverend Donna's going to talk about that. That's the absolute. That's the part that does not change. In expression, love is the power that joins and binds in divine harmony the universe and everything in it. That's in the relative realm. That's what we get to use. And trust me, it changes, and there's a whole spectrum of it. So, among the faculties of the mind, love is pivotal. Its center of mentation in the body is the cardiac plexus. The physical representative of love is the heart, the office of which is to equalize the circulation. So the heart does the circulation, and then he says, and equalizes the flow in the body, and love harmonizes our thoughts of the mind. There's just lots more. He who sees spiritually should open his heart and cultivate that inclusive love which God has given as the unifying element in the human family. I didn't plan this exactly, but I'm just going to point out, in 1909, Fillmore is using Victorian language, and it gets really convoluted if you've ever tried to read him. But what Fillmore did for us is he set out the principles. Those don't change. That divine idea of love, he identified it, and he put it together in the way we can use it. He says, think about love with the attention drawn within the heart, and a quickening will follow. Now, don't we do that on many Sundays when we say, let's move from our head to our heart? Let's envision something that we love dearly, that we then feel that expansion in our heart. I'm going too far afield, people. So the quickening will follow. All the ideas that go to make up love will be set into motion. This produces a positive love current. The love current is not a projection of the will. Whoa, that was biggie for me. And I'm reading another book. I'm reading about the holographic universe. And it's a whole nother, I just got it when I read Fillmore's statement. It is not a projection of a will. It is a setting free of a natural, equalizing, harmonizing force that in most persons has been dammed up by human limitations. The ordinary man is not aware that he possesses the mighty power which will turn away every shaft of hate that is aimed at him. Here is a faculty native to man. It's ours. who we are, existent in every soul, which may be used at all times to bring about harmony and unity among those who have been disunited through misunderstandings, contentions, or selfishness. Okay, that's 1909, and I might have elaborated too much. I got to watch that clock. I might need Tracy to give me time back there. All right, I pulled this book off my library shelf. It's The Essential Charles Fillmore with commentary by James Gaither, another Unity minister. But the thing about this is Reverend Gaither pulled together excerpts along the way of all of Fillmore, I say of most maybe, of Fillmore's published works at any rate. And he made some sense of the flow in different categories. So this is from Talks on Truth, and this was written in 1926. This is a whole lot easier, okay? Love is a divine principle, and man can know it in its purity by touching it at its fountainhead. It is not tinged in any way by man's formative thought, but flows forth in a pure, pellucid stream of infinite ecstasy. That was a new word for me, pellucid. Just means a clear flow coming in. It has no consciousness of good or evil, pure or impure, but pours itself out in great oceans of living magnetic power to be used by whosoever will. The next person I thought about was Emmett Fox. Emmett Fox, turns out he was actually a cohort of Fillmore, but I never thought of him that way because I think of Fox as being like mid-century. I think of Fillmore shooting it off. Fox is mid-century. And Fox he is not a unity ministry, but he has taken the interpretation to a different perspective, okay? So from around the year with Emmett Fox in his meditation on September 1, titled Divine Love Never Fails, he says, the problem is that people think love is a power outside themselves, and if they beg hard enough, this power will come down and rescue them. There is no such outside power. The only place where love can exist, as far as you are concerned, is in your heart. Any love that is not in your heart does not exist for you. His advice was to fill your own heart with love by thinking it, feeling it, expressing it. You can use your thoughts to do that. And your other powers pull together to make that vision and that experience possible. So he says, and when the sense of love is vivid enough, it will heal you and will enable you to heal others. And don't we do that all the time? When we hold those thoughts and we hold that light. And what I've gotten in this new book is I don't have to imagine sending anything out because it just is. All I have to do is see it with my spiritual eyes and know, for instance, so many times that my friend Joni was fine, that she manifests wholeness. And look at her now. Okay. So the important thing here is the emphasis on love being an inside job. And it's our self-responsibility to develop it. And finally, my favorite, Eric Butterworth. Eric Butterworth lived from 1916 to 2003, so he was in the later part of the 20th century and kind of ushered us in to the 21st. This book, Life is for Loving, was first published in 1965. So now we are definitely mid-century. And I love the way Butterworth expresses himself. I'm building on the theme that love is the very genesis of creation and the nature of the creative process in man. Despite the weight of psychological teaching or human belief, love is not an emotion or sensual experience. It is not the plaything of human volition. Love is the action of a totally transcendent power and process within you. Love is the foundation of the creative process. The chief work of man's life is always to call to remembrance his true nature, which is created in the image and likeness of God, who is love, and to get on with the business of life, which is for loving. So there we have, I hope you kind of pick up the flow that Fillmore has laid a foundation. Emmett Fox, from wherever, you see, we live in an inclusive, all-one, loving environment. I like to think of it as soul soup. Okay? And it's all connected. So Fillmore's over here in Unity. I don't know what Fox's denomination might have been. He might have been Divine Sight. But, you know, their ideas are merging and they're growing and they pass it along. And then Butterworth comes along and he like makes it blossom for my life. And then, okay, so here's what we've gotten so far. Love is a principle. It's a concept within the universal concept. My teacher, Paul Hasselbeck, is now calling it universal concept, what we have called the absolute, ultimate reality. Unity speak, it's also the universe, source, God. It's that part that does not change. Principle does not change. And Fillmore identified love as one of our 12 innate powers. I don't think I've probably said that enough. It's inside you, okay? You've already got it. And you've got all you ever need. And it's yours to use. So over the years, various teachers have put different names to this. It's a faculty, it's an ability, it's a freedom, it's a power, but it's a principle, whatever name you call it by. So what is love? Love is our ability to desire, harmonize, unify, and I like to think magnetize, pull ourselves to our good. I'm kind of turning this around from what I originally understood. I'm not drawing it to me. I'm drawing me to it. Oh, isn't that cool? And guess what else? Love is the power behind the law of attraction. Unifying, magnetizing. It is the power behind the law of mind action. And frankly, I don't see a whole lot of difference between those. And you'll remember this. This is an explanation of the law of attraction or law of mind action. Thoughts held in mind produce after their kind. That's what we have heard and been taught in Unity forever. We're in the 21st century and we've learned some stuff since then. So I like to tweak it, I like amp it up a little bit. Thoughts held in mind with feeling and intention tend to produce more thoughts after their kind. So we got some responsibility on how it's used. Okay? So now we're in the 21st century, and Power Up, the 12 Powers Revisited as Accelerated Abilities by Paul Hasselbeck and Cher Holton. Here we go. When we speak of the power or ability of love, we can really define it as three potential aspects. You know, in some ways, we kind of get more heady. Charles Fillmore was very heady. And then we've gone through a whole lot of feeling stage, and now we're into heady again. We're taking it apart. So there are three aspects in the ability of love. Emotion, the ability to feel attraction for or desire something. I want something. I need something. So that's the first part, and that thought, that idea comes. Then there's the attraction, the ability to attract ourselves towards something. And we set it up. We set it up for ourselves to get what we want in the moment, consciously or unconsciously, good, bad, or ugly. There's a spectrum. And then the other piece is harmony, the ability to unify or bring agreement and accord to our thoughts or the situation. So we have this idea, spur of the moment, or planned ahead of time. We use it consciously or unconsciously. And Reverend Donna is going to talk about whether we're in victim or victor or verity, and I missed one. Vessel. Victor, vessel. No. Okay. Anyway, if you go to her class, okay, she will sort it out for you, okay? But this is how it works. Whatever frame of mind or state of consciousness you're in, I just did a few scenarios here. I wake up on the wrong side of the bed. I skip my spiritual practices, and I feel kind of grumpy. You ask me just a real simple, innocent question. I take it personally, get defensive, I'm going to argue with you about it. This is the negative, underdeveloped side of love kicking in. In that moment, all I want is to be right. So I gather thoughts and feelings to support my cause. And by creating that energy, I have drawn myself into your energy, and we're just battling, okay? Whew. Fortunately, there's another day, and I'm a different person. Living alone, it's been a while since I had social contact, and I'm feeling kind of lonely and a little bit depressed. And I start to think about all my acquaintances with close social circles, and I see them all in my mind. They're all out there together, having fun, laughing, and I want that. I'm kind of jealous of them. I'm envious that they've got that and I don't. In that moment, I'm desiring to feel poor me. That's what I want. That's the space I want to be in. That's what I've chosen for myself. Another negative expression of the overdeveloped love faculty. And yet, another day, I've slept well. I go through my morning rituals, enjoying my spiritual practices. I'm attuned to taking care of my body. I eat well, go for my morning walk. I am feeling good. And I notice I'm feeling a little out of touch, so I call a friend for a chat. I have activated my love faculty in a balanced way. I have found my sweet spot for love. I've taken care of myself in a healthy and loving way. It sounds a lot like Goldilocks, doesn't it? Too much, too little, just right. But that's the way it is. Principle doesn't care how it's used. Principle doesn't feel or experience anything. And that's our job as divine beings having a human experience. Love just is. And like all our divine powers, we experience it in a continuum that might range from the basest hate blown into the other side of the scale, a raging narcissism. So that's the underused, the overused, the misused on either end. And the trick is to find the sweet spot, the balance. And we do that by self-awareness, looking at how we're showing up, by study, Reverend Eileen's class, taking classes to deepen our understanding. We learn by reading and noticing with the intention to see love. I got to tell you, I find these principles show themselves to me in the best fiction, too. So it doesn't just have to be a spiritual book, okay? We notice things with intention to see love. And we come together in spiritual community where we share and grow together. In Christian healing, Charles Fillmore outlined 9 ingredients of the spectrum of love. You know, I don't need to go through those with you because you know them. You know patience and kindness and generosity and joy and all of that. I was actually thinking that I would go through and give you an example of each one, and aren't you glad I didn't do that? I do want to point one out, and then I want to bring this to a close. The one that I want to point out is the generosity in this community. It just shows in so many ways. And all those volunteers that Tracy honored today, in the giving of your time and your talents and your treasures. And this isn't part of the script, but I don't know if you knew this about this church. This church was built debt-free. And as we grow, that is our intention, to stay debt-free. And it is through the generosity of our community that it happens. And not only are we debt-free, we are a giving church, just as everybody in this room is a giving person, whether it's in time, talent, or treasure. So I don't need to show you all those things, all those points of love, because you know, I will recommend, if you have not watched Forrest Gump lately, do it again. Do it again. Forrest Gump demonstrated acceptance, non-resistance. He didn't take anything personally. He didn't know how. He was so open-hearted. So watch that if you want to see love. And this is what Butterworth has to say in closing. You can grow from loneliness to oneness, but it will take effort. You will need to realize the reality of love that is always present, and you will have to practice its presence. You may feel that your loneliness will give way to oneness when your true love comes along. Don't delude yourself. It is not in finding the right person, but in being the right person that leads to the fulfillment in love. Love is an energy force with fantastic possibilities for your life, but it is not to be found in human relations, only in the depth of your inmost self. When you find and experience it at the depth of you, your whole consciousness will be centered in love. Without conscious effort, you will love things, Love the world, love flowers and trees and people on the street. You will easily become a channel for unrestricted love to flow through, and an instrument for the creative process of the infinite to do its wonderful work under the warming, healing, and prospering influence of love. Thank you so much for being here with me. I think it is time now to bless all of those gifts and the generosity in every way that it comes into our community. So, affirm with me. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, God, that this is so.